In Matthew 25, starting at verse 14, we get the parable of the bags of gold. A wealthy man who is also a master of servants is getting ready to go on a journey. Before he leaves, he calls his servants over to him and he distributes his wealth amongst his servants, entrusting his servants with his wealth while he is away on his journey. He gave the first servant 5 bags of gold, the second 2 bags of gold, and the third 1 bag of gold. The master entrusted his gold to the servants according to each servant's ability. The bags of gold in this parable is representative of the truth of God. It's representative of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And each, according to his ability, is talking about the level of faith that each servant has. Some people have stronger faith than others, and some people have less strong faith. After the master, who is symbolic for Jesus, after he distributes his wealth amongst his servants according to their ability, he goes on his journey. Immediately, the servant who received the 5 bags of gold puts that money to work and earns 5 more bags of gold. This is saying that the one who has a strong faith will take the truth of God, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it will result in much fruit in their life. If you have a strong faith, the fruit of your faith will reflect that. At John 15:16, Jesus says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, and so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you." That's why the end of the parable of the bags of gold says in verse 28, "Whoever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them." Whoever has faith in Christ will receive abundant blessings. Galatians 5:22 says the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So to the one whose faith is so strong that it causes them to bear those fruits in their life, many blessings will come to that person. In the same way, the person who has a less strong faith, but their faith still produces fruit in their life, they will be blessed for those fruits in their life. The Lord recognizes that we have different levels of ability and different levels of faith. All fruit-bearing faith will receive blessings, regardless of how big or small it is. The servant that received 1 bag of gold said, "Master, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you." This is a person whose faith never produced fruit in their life. In other words, they had a fake faith. They never truly believed in Christ at all. They were never truly a child of God. In other words, they were a goat, which the next parable is actually called the sheep and the goat, where they say, "When did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you?" And Jesus replies to them and says, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me," indicating that these people's faith never produced the fruit of love, indicating that these people have a fake faith. These are the same prideful, fake Christians that are mentioned in Matthew 7:22, where they say, "Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers." The third servant in the parable of the bags of gold is an evildoer. His faith was fake and it never produced fruit. These people choose to convince themselves that God is not real because deep down they are afraid because they know that God is going to destroy the wicked. That is why that wicked servant with the 1 bag of gold says this, "I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground." This is saying that Jesus did not sow the seed of wickedness into the world. Yet Jesus is going to harvest the field of wicked when it reaches its full measure. Wickedness, like righteousness, has always existed and it always will. But wickedness will not affect us in the new world because every single wicked person who ever existed will be eliminated. There will be no more wicked spirits to influence people to become wicked. So although Jesus did not plant the seed of wicked, he did not sow the seed of wicked, he did allow the seed of wicked to produce the harvest of wicked so that he, as a wise king, can throw it away when it is ready, can harvest that field and dispose of it when it is ready. Proverbs 21:4 says the unplowed field of the wicked produce sin. And Proverbs 20:26 says a wise king winnows out the wicked. He drives the threshing wheel over them. Anybody who has a fake faith and who never comes to an honest faith in Jesus Christ before the day of judgment comes is part of the harvest of the wicked. And they will be thrown into the lake of fire on Judgment Day.